bashimane bashimane le batjhabeng. Hey guys, welcome to my channel. So we are reacting to a video of a woman, of a stitch video of a woman who's talking about her a guy taking revenge on her because he was chasing her for 4 years, and this guy decided to take revenge because he was not even interested in her in the first place, right? What I'm gonna say is, be afraid of men, okay? Like, if anybody's chasing you that long, something is wrong with them. You should be aware, you know. Even I don't want to be chased that long. Don't chase me that long. Those ones are the bitter ones that they will do you the most. In fact, what this guy, I'm thinking, it did not go to the full length. Some of them would break you beyond repair, so you must be very careful. But anyways, let's go to the stitch video, shall we?
Okay, so if you haven't already seen that viral video, she turned off her comments, I can't stitch it, yeah. This girl is saying after 4+ years of a guy chasing her, she finally says, okay, we can get to know each other, you can take me on a date. Boom. I don't know all the story, I was not there. I'm just giving this video so y'all can learn from something real quick. So the guy, after the date, gets on the phone with another shorty, puts her on speaker, and is trying to get at her in front of the girl. And the girl is recording this like, bro, you've been chasing me for 4+ years and now we go on a date and afterwards this is what you do? I'm here to tell you why he did this. These type of people do this type of stuff because they feel so wounded, so insecure, and so rejected after chasing someone they didn't even like to begin with. Because he was playing to begin with 4+ years ago. And she had the audacity to be hard to get. She had the audacity to tell me no, to think that I wasn't a good fit for her. B, do you know who I am? Who you think you are? You thought I was feeling you? That was his energy from day one, unbeknownst to her. So he allowed it to keep going, and he said, you know what? When I get her ass, I'm gonna make her feel stupid. And that's the least he could do, because there are people like this who will harm you physically for this type of stuff. So boom, years later, she finally says, okay. He rolled out the red carpet, whatever that was, took out to eat, whatever they did. And as soon as the date was over, walking to the car, what does he do? He makes her feel stupid. He violates her. He gets on the phone and speaker and trying to get into a relationship with another young lady. He needed that so desperately versus being a mature person, versus not trying to play with nobody years ago and not really be into her. Why are you chasing somebody you're not into? Wicked. He said, nah, I can't get over that. I'm so wounded. I'm so wounded. Misery needs company. I am going to wait this out for as long as it takes. And the second that girl give me attention, I'ma get her ass. This happens to a lot of us more often than not, and that is the point of my videos. Y'all need to have discernment. There is no point. You are too precious, your energy is too damn good, and it's too dangerous to be playing with people like this. If that right there lets you know people can't get over the fact that you just wasn't feeling them then, and then it's the 5th year and things change and you want to get to know them, fine, sure. And this is how they act. Imagine what else they would do by any means necessary just for a temporary emotion of, ha, gotcha. Folks, don't be rap tight, which is why you need to have discernment. Watch my videos so you can pinpoint the fuck shit.
Never be with a man who will constantly pursue you without rest for more than 2 weeks. Men are a lot of things, and petty is one of them. You dubbed him and he keeps trying after that consistently. He don't even want to be with you for real. He just looking to embarrass you the way that he feels like you embarrassed him.
Now hear me out. There's always a pre-existing reason as to why he was still single when you decided to give him a chance. And there was always a pre-existing reason as to why you were avoiding him for those 4 years. See, they could wait it out and play the bench for years, but there's a reason as to why he was still there and still single. It wasn't a coincidence. But there's a good chunk of women that are under the impression and go with the notion that he waited it out for them. Like, nah, he just had time. If he was as decent as he claimed to be 4 years ago, he would have found somebody else by now, which brings me to my next conclusion. They're just coincidentally there at the worst time possible because they got time. Knowing that they can have you for just a need them was more of a goal for him than keeping you. That was the goal. The idea was the goal, not the relationship. Craziest part is that there's not a shred of doubt in my mind that she would have gotten done the same way 4 years ago, during the first initial attempt. Because once most men view you in a certain light, very rarely do their opinions, intentions, and perceptions about you ever really change. For him, the whole goal was to know that he can pull you, and that's good enough for his ego.
She's basically going to go on to explain how some guy accepted to be in the friend zone for 4 years and eventually was allowed by this girl to go on a date with her. Don't do this, guys. That's not what you want. Don't accept that because that's not your intention in the first place. And it's not going to end out well for you. Now, apparently, 4 years after whatever it is, now, she didn't specifically say that the guy was in the friend zone, but I can tell that most likely he was because he wouldn't have a chance to even go on a date with her 4 years later if he wasn't in close proximity. Meaning he was lingering around, most likely giving her attention, possibly resources, and just that, homeboy energy or whatever. I guess he went on the date, ended up talking to another girl on the date to just make her feel dumb because he felt dumb because she finally gave him a chance, but he felt rejected, so he wanted to reject her back. Once again, they both have blame here. Do not put yourself in this situation. Don't be used and don't do.
So, to be honest with you, he got to know you. He realized you lack personality, which a lot of women do. Nah, I say like 40%. 40% of women do. So, yeah, he got the fuck on. Like, you probably didn't have any mutual interest, and dude was just lusting. That was it. Men will do this. Like, we will stay, and just because of the pure lust that we have for another woman, we'll put up with a lot of bullshit. But fam understood his value and his worth and realized that, you know what? You're not worth it. And that's exactly what he did. So instead of being nice about it, bitch, you made me wait for 4 years. You know what? I realized I waited too long. And so, yeah, I'm about to cut my ties right now. And with that being said, hey, shawty, how you doing? What's your name?
People be thinking they special. And let me tell you something. We not. That goes for girls and guys. She made that man wait 4 years for a date. So obviously, he was low on her priority list. But guess what? As an ex-ho, I can confirm that I've never chased a woman for 4 years, but I have sent 30 good morning text messages. So if the date went bad, he don't care because you weren't the only woman he was chasing for the last 4 years. That's obvious. So in the back of your mind, you thought he was feeling you. Nah, he just wanted to fuck.
So the person who I'm stitching this from basically download the video of the OP. So when I reference the OP, that's what I mean. Wherever the person I stitch is from, I hope you get it. I don't think people understand, especially men, that this is a prime example of how the patriarchy makes men look stupid. The OP turned off their comments, and I can guess why. It was probably predominantly a bunch of men and women saying, it's your fault. His actions are a reflection of you. He did nothing wrong. But in the same sentence, men are leaders. Men are more logical. They're less emotional. Imagine living under the patriarchy as a man, being so insecure that you waste 4 fucking years chasing a bitch because you don't even see her as a human being that you don't like, and then potentially putting her in danger because if I wanted you, you should have jumped when I said jump. Imagine being so insecure that you don't even know the type of bitches you like except the ones that you can hurt. Under the patriarchy, all this man did was teach this girl that if someone ever approaches her and does all these nice things, he ain't shit. Men destroy their opportunities with women before women ever cockblock men. And yet her comments are probably full of people who support the actions of the man. Heteronormativity is going to kill the straight person way before this impending doom of everyone being at least bisexual. And the fact that people don't get that irritates me in a way that cannot be described. At the end of the day, all that man said was, if a man does nice things for you and hurts you, it's your fault. If a man fucks with you off the bat, it's your fault. This is what men are. Men are predators. And at the same time, it's your fault. Who the fuck do you think is gonna fuck with you then?
I'm gonna speak for myself. I'm not speaking for all guys, but I'm speaking for myself because I've done this a few times, but I don't violate and stuff like that. But I did this a few times that when I work so hard to try to get the girl, and when I finally get her, I lose interest right away. But in my case, it's because I'm comfortable with my sexuality, and the thing is like once I finally get the girl, all of a sudden I lose interest in them right away. Not right away, but like a few weeks, maybe a month, and stuff like that. So, that's basically what it is. It's not like some of us guys is it's praying y'all, because once y'all give us what we wanted, we're gonna stop praying y'all. But some of us is because once you give us what we want, some of us lose interest right away. So, I mean, I wouldn't be waiting for a female for 4 years to finally date me, unless she was Mexican, because, you know, I'm obsessed with Mexican females. But I would never wait. I would never chase the same female 4 years. But yeah, that's basically what it is.
Hey, y'all know what it is. Story time. So, I had a guy, and this is here recent. Met him when I first got out here. You know, I was living with someone, the first asshole I told y'all about on one of my other stories. And this is the friend of me guy that I'm talking about. Met him my first year out here this time. I ended up like talking to him for a little bit and decided that he wasn't going to be a good fit for me. So I was dating another man, guy number 2, in the other video I talked about, and realized that he was just a whole asshole, and I just, no. So me and this guy end up linking up like months after I stopped talking to my ex. Well, when we first started, you know, dealing with each other, he let it be known that his little feelings was hurt because I chose my ex over him. But like I explained to him, you know, he was a better fit. He was more situated. He was older. He didn't want no more kids. You know, it was a better fit. So I'm thinking I was good. We dealt with each other for 8 months. 8 months. 8 months. He came over one day. I realized he was talking to somebody, you know, so I kind of cornered him a little bit. Like, yo, what are we doing? Like, what? You still entertaining other women? Like, what are we doing? He tells me we're just friends and we're just having fun. But you just had a play date with my son 3 days ago. Okay. So fast forward, a month or so goes by. You know, I'm still trying to decide if I'm going to deal with him or not. He stands me up on Mother's Day. The very next day, you know, I sent him a text message to say, yo, I think we just need to go ahead and part ways. Like, clearly, this ain't what it is. He says, my bad about last night. Oh, by the way, I'm talking to someone and it's getting serious. Same thing I did to him, but I did it out of respect. He did it out of get back. I was trying not to hurt his feelings. He wanted to hurt mine because he was insecure as hell.
No lies. They will wait years and years and years and years. They won't even find you physically attractive, and it's about getting that ego boost. It's how dare you not think them the sexiest thing since the concept of sliced bread? How dare you not throw yourself at me? How dare you have a sense of self-worth? And so on down that line. And it's absolutely ridiculous. But what's even better is every douchebag that has ever acted this way with me, they all now have daughters, and I cannot wait for them to become teenagers. Oh, they're gonna have so much fun with that. I mean, karma is a bitch, and it comes in the form of a newborn baby girl. And I think the funny thing is one of the guys, well, no, 2 of them. One of them is a friend that I grown up with, and I've known him since high school and whatnot. He apparently felt entitled to be considered by me, and it really chaps his ass that I don't view him as a suitable prospect for marriage, and so on down that line. It's just like, get over it. It ain't happening. Get over it. Just get over it. I know him well enough to know that I would end up on an episode of Snapped, and I promised myself a long time ago, after being on the receiving end of this myself, I will not pursue a person that I am not genuinely attracted to, because it's hurtful to that person. And me having been on the receiving end of that, it just makes perfect sense to me, at least. Then there's an idiot that I went to school with, and I haven't really seen since 2006, and I'm perfectly down with that. Cool with it. I don't know what his deal is. His communication tremendously sucks. And I don't know if he trolls my SM and all that jazz to get a rise out of me and whatnot, but at the same time, he loves using what he thinks is my life and my blog IG for content. and for his own platforms and whatnot. And I think the funny thing is old boy does not know what to discuss next until I make a post. So in a way, that kind of makes him my bitch. How's that for a plot twist?
So if you saw that original post that I'm stitching, it is about a young woman who accepted a date recently from a young man. This young man had been trying to get at her for about 4 years or so. And I guess maybe she wasn't in the right headspace, or maybe she was involved with someone else. She didn't accept the date. But now, present day, she said, hey, come on, let's go. Unfortunately, towards the end of the day, he was rude to her. So this creator is talking about that she believes that was his way of saying, F you to the girl. Look at what you've been missing all this time. Other chicks want me, to make her feel, not so good about it. Very rude. Now, while I personally never went through anything like that, I think I went through something similar 3 times with the same person. Okay, story time. So when I was in high school, there was a classmate of mine, a young man, who was okay, we were friendly, not friends, we were friendly, we were polite, everybody knew him, he was very popular, but there just wasn't any chemistry, nothing going on there, I guess. And, I was like 14, 15, I wasn't about to date, but I heard he had a crush on me. But then during our sophomore year, he did ask me out. So I said, sure. So our plan was to meet Saturday afternoon in front of the local movie theater, and we were going to see a movie. Well, he never showed up. Now, mind you, this was before cell phones. This was before texting. So I had no way of getting in touch with him. I guess I didn't care enough to take a dime and call him. I don't know. But when I went home, there were no messages for me. Come Monday, he profusely apologizes to me and said he had taken ill. He'd gotten sick with something. Okay, fine. All right. He never asked me out again. Now, let's fast forward 25 years. We're at the high school reunion. He's there. We say hello to each other. We start liking each other's things on Facebook, and then about a year later, he asked me out. We have a beautiful night, nice New York City date, and we start seeing each other pretty regularly for about 6 to 8 weeks. Friendly, platonically, nothing romantic or sexual going on. Getting to know each other, see if there's chemistry. At least that's what I was doing. And then he just ghosted, stopped calling. Still liking my Facebook postings though, but never called again. Now let's forward 3 years later, where he sees a posting where I said I want to go to a local New York City feast. He says, well, let's go. We meet up, and then we start seeing each other pretty regularly again, about once a week or sometimes twice a week for about 4 months. Then the holidays come, the Christmas holidays, and he said, hey, I'm going to see my family down south, but I'd like to see you before I leave. Can you meet me for lunch? So we did. We had a nice time. Everything was great. He flew out. Christmas came and went. Never heard from him again. So was that his F you to me?
You know what this example goes to show? We really underestimate how fragile the male ego is for some men, not all men, because a lot of men will move the fuck on when they realize you lack interest in them. They are willing and able to accept rejection. Some men, their ego is so inflated after years of feeling unattractive, or like they didn't have any money, or like they didn't have any swag, and can understand why any girl wouldn't either take them seriously or just offer up panties off rip, or whatever they need to get gratification to say, hey, I made it, right? These men are such a hazard to society, and they're so dangerous in what they will do. See, women, we get our ego bruised. We do the usual one of two things. We go out and maybe find 3 different guys to juggle for a period of time and move about our business. Or we have that one day where we go out looking at our finest, have the guy that we wanted at the time seeing us, and then don't give him no play. Very easy. No one gets hurt. No one dies at the end. Men? Oh my God, the fucking audacity. A man will leave you with a baby he never wants to claim or take care of just to prove to himself he could do it because you're a bad. It's hazardous being a beautiful woman out here. It is hazardous being a woman in general, and especially a beautiful woman or a woman that they perceive they need to earn in a way that justifies their ego, that can give them some type of clout. It's very hazardous because they will go to great lengths that can destroy your quality of life to prove some fucking point to themselves, and they're sick. And I want y'all weirdos to come across with you and go, you're sick. Something is off with you in your mind that you are taking to such great lengths to be a winner at the end of this game. Like, you're still a loser just because you think like that, just because you're that ill and rancid in the mind to be doing some of the shit y'all do. But I'm sorry that girl went through that. Honey, I've had a similar experience this year. We're not going to get too deep into it. But just be safe out here, y'all. Be safe. Vet them really, really hard. Vet them aggressively. If you see any red flag that comes up that says that you're an egotistical sicko, that there's Satan in the flesh, run the other way.
This video is amazing. It shows where there's no accountability. So here's a woman talking about another woman's experience. saying after 4 years of, I don't know, friend zone, getting, a guy chasing this girl, being probably put in the friend zone, that she gives him a chance. And then on the date, he pretty much calls another girl in front of her to show her that this is what you get for, I don't know, wasting my time, whatever. But there's no accountability where how about if you're not interested in a man, right? It should not be 4 years. It should be 1 month or 1 week saying, no, I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to be friends with you. Don't have my number. Don't have no contact. You forget that women also put men in the friend zone for them to use them for their attention, for their time, for whatever. We don't know in those 4 years what they did. Did he take her out? Did he, like, I don't know, been there for her? Whatever. Who knows? But it's like, you gotta think that it's not about the audacity. How's the audacity that he did that? Because where's the thought of his feelings during the whole time? If you don't like somebody, tell them up front. Don't string them along for 4 years. I mean, I'm not saying that he's, a good guy or anything, because that was being petty, but, you don't understand how a person feels, being led along for years. The friend zone is a terrible place for men, but men are weird that way, that they hope for a chance. But some men play the long game, and some men just wants to play. And obviously he was playing around for a long time. But you can also take into account the accountability that she should have just ended it, the first time she saw him. If she wasn't interested, that's it. There's no accountability for, no woman, right, is holding other women accountable for their own actions. Period. The delusion.